morning. It's Saturday, June 13th. I want to give you a quick rundown on the COVID-19 situation. The United States has passed 2 million confirmed cases, over 112,000 dead, and over 533,000 Americans have deemed to have been recovered. That's the highest number in the world. Meanwhile, worldwide, the cases have passed 7.4 million. There are 417,000 plus deaths, and over 3.4 million are being declared recovered. Now, meanwhile, the state of Florida has seen an uptick in cases. So for 8 straight days, they have over 1,000 new cases. Now, Florida right now has over 69,000 cases with 2,800 plus deaths. I point that out for a reason that I'm going to get into momentarily. Here's the reason. President Trump, who loves his rallies, primarily because there's lots of cheering and there are no questions. And anything that comes out of his mouth seems to get a huge eruption of applauses. So what the president has done, he is going to accept the nomination for president not in Charlotte, North Carolina, because the governor there refused to acquiesce to Trump's request for a large auditorium filled with people probably without masks and no social distancing, right? So Trump is now going to have this rally in Jacksonville, Florida. But while he's in Jacksonville, Florida, having this rally, right, the GOP delegates will elect their nominee from Charlotte. And Trump will make his acceptance speech 3 states away. Yes, that's 3 states away in an area that's running the highest propensity right now of infections, of COVID-19 infections. So he's going to gather all these people in an auditorium, probably without face masks, probably without social distancing, probably loaded with super spreaders. You know what a super spreader is? It's somebody that's in contact with a lot of people and has the virus, the symptoms, but is not really infected. Is one of these people who's a carrier. You know, they used to call them carriers when they talked about other diseases. Now they call them a super spreader. So imagine an auditorium filled with 50,000 people screaming, and there's 100 super spreaders in there. What do you think is going to happen in the days after this convention? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. But I think it's a scary situation. Now, if Florida was like New York and the virus was on the decline, I could understand this. But the virus is on an uptick. But I guess that doesn't matter. Trump needs his audience. Trump needs his crowd. And so, to hell with the health of the country, I need my crowd. I gotta put on a performance. That's that. There's still a little time between now and the convention. So Trump is going to hit the campaign trail. And his first stop is going to be in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Now, Tulsa, Oklahoma is the site of one of the worst acts of racial violence that this country has ever seen. And that's next Friday, is the anniversary of that awful event. And it's called Juneteenth. And why is it called Juneteenth? Because it's June 19th, and that was an abbreviation that the Texans used for that particular day, because on that particular day, they enacted the Emancipation Proclamation in Texas. And on that day, in 1921, in Tulsa, 300 black people were killed by a white mob. So that's where Trump is going to do his first campaign stop of the season, I guess we'll call it the season. And he may use Tulsa, this particular event, to deliver a long-awaited speech on race. which is probably scaring the shit out of many Republicans, because who knows what's liable to come out of Donald's mouth on this particular subject. We know there's a lot of unrest in the country and a lot of protests going on across the country, but I don't think anybody is quite sure how Donald feels about all of that. So I would think that most Republicans are terrified of what he's liable to say in Tulsa. What we do know is that he considers white supremacists very fine people. And I base that statement on what he said about the rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. So I can understand the trepidation that is going through the Republican Party at this point. Now, they're probably going to write a very nice speech for that event, but Donald quite often goes off on his own away from the teleprompter. And depending upon the cheering of the crowd, who knows what's liable to come out of his mouth. So I don't think I want to talk about this anymore. I'm waiting for the country to calm down a little bit. So I'll see you in the morning.